Hello world of YouTube and welcome to, as I said in the update, the first installment of Decade Wrap-Up List Week for the 2010s. Instead of doing movies, games, and albums all this week, for the sake of my sanity, I'm going to be splitting up my list week across the next 3 months. This week is games, next month is going to be albums, and then in March I'm going to be doing films. Now on Wednesdays, I'm going to be doing a relatively offshoot list that has to do with something that isn't being covered that week. So this week, tomorrow, I'm going to be doing my favorite
shifts in musical direction
in between the worst, or in this case, most disappointing games, which is coming out today, and the best games, which is dropping. It's a lot, I know, but like I said, this is not going to be a worst games of the decade list, because while I did play some games that I would say are bad, instead of talking about some games that I thought were bad and others that were generally received as bad, I would rather focus on games that I had a lot of excitement for one reason or another, and break down my least favorites of those, or the ones that stuck out the most as the most disappointing. Even in that regard, I didn't play all of the games that had this sort of tag on them, so if that game that you may expect isn't on here, I probably didn't play it, even though, you know, I probably love that franchise. I even was deterred from it before it got into my hands. But yeah, with all of this explanation and preamble out of the way, let's dive on in.
The biggest reason why this isn't higher is because, while yes, Sonic has done much better, he's also done cataclysmically worse. Even in this decade. I didn't touch Sonic Boom because it looked like a dumpster fire. But out of the Sonic games I've played this decade, Sonic the Hedgehog 4 was certainly the worst and most disappointing, because it was supposed to be like a welcoming back to Sonic's roots, and instead it was a clunky mess. I tried so hard to convince myself that this game was fun when it first came out, and I've since accepted that it's just a piece of shit game. It truly, truly is. And now that I've accepted that, I feel so much better. Yeah.
Hi.
This is a Let's Play Brink. It's hard to really get mad at a game like Brink because the game doesn't drive you to do anything. There's no propulsion to its plot. Like, sure, you accomplish things, but you don't really feel like you're doing anything. Honestly, the only reason why I finished this game is because I was recording my first ever experiences with it. And you can tell by watching that playthrough that Shake and I run out of shit to talk about very, very fast.
Go up, let's play.
It was a warm summer day, the day I bought Brink. $20 used at my local GameStop.
A four-player let's play with Bobcat Goldthwait, Christopher Walken, Morgan Freeman.
I don't like this
Morgan
game.
Freeman, Christopher Walken, and Pauly Shore would be the best co-op LP.
And we get so very bored of doing the same 5 things over again. Really, this game could have been better, but it just didn't even try to. Back in my pre-video making days, I would watch the trailer for Dead Island a lot. It's a game that I loved the look of, and I was incredibly excited to play. And the finished product, not necessarily a terrible game by any stretch of the imagination. It's just one that I was not compelled to finish at all. And that's unfortunate, because I like the idea of being stranded on an island with zombies. And I feel like in a decade where zombies were certainly played to fucking death, Dead Island might have been the first sign that we should have maybe reeled it back a little bit, because there's some cool ideas here, but it's just a very underwhelming experience, to me anyway. For a game with such an ambitious concept, it's amazing at how underwhelming of an experience Jump Force really is. You know, I hate that this game is centered around your avatar protagonist. I hate that the world is already just kind of mashed together and you're supposed to accept that. And the combat is broken. Characters are so imbalanced, and there's people that are flat out exploitative with how easy they are to manipulate their skills, and it's just cheap. This game is such a mess, and it's very underwhelming because of that.
Hello crowd and welcome to a new Let's Play of Halo 4.
Like I said in my games that don't need sequels list.
I mean, we can all agree Halo had a good run, right? Like, they had a successful first trilogy, they had a great prequel game, a great spin-off game. That's more than even Gears of War could ask for.
Halo 4 was just so not fun. Master Chief felt like he had nothing to do. The plot felt really meaningless. And all of the additions they made to the Halo universe just didn't add anything to me. Even the multiplayer was kind of underwhelming, and the whole experience of Halo 4 just felt lesser. Which is upsetting because 343, like I said, set up to be a great replacement for Bungie. They did a great job at remastering the Master Chief Collection, and Halo 4 just didn't make me want to keep playing Halo games. Like, at a dead stop. It was a hard game to finish. And it's upsetting because I really love the Halo games. Like, I'm a huge fan of the initial run of this series, and it sucks that they've kind of floundered out into irrelevance. One of the biggest mistakes Nintendo has ever made was making Mario Party a cooperatively competitive experience. Get everyone out of the goddamn car! Stop Skeletons from Fighting has already done a detailed dissection of the splendorous failure that is Kenji Inafune's kick-started disaster, Mighty Number 9. Such high hopes, such ambition, such wasted potential. Most of you probably already know this game sucks hot balls, it controls terribly, and as a big Mega Man fan, it is a huge letdown that this game sucked this badly. There are some good ideas at Skyward Sword's core. You know, I like the dynamic of Link and Zelda in this game. I like Skyloft. I like the look of this game. I like the concept of having a bird to fly around in the skies with. But this game does not do anything good with those ideas at all. Like, I hate the motion control shit. I hate Fee. I hate the pacing of this game. This game is a mess. And everything Aaron Hansen has said about this game, I feel like it's pretty accurate.
Seriously! You want all this attention like you care, like you really gave it your all in a new innovative Zelda experience, but instead you led Zelda into a frustrating monotony.
I don't like it, and as a huge, colossal Zelda fan, this just was a huge failure, and I hate to say that from a series that I hold so dear, but I really don't like Skyward Sword. I've already harped on a lot about what I don't like about Kingdom Hearts 3. I made a couple videos talking about it, but as a huge fan of the first couple games from this series, I'll bite that I haven't played a lot of the side shit. And maybe to get the best experience out of 3, you are to have played those games. But even with all of the catch-up that I've had, I feel like the story doesn't make the player invested. It's like it's like having a chapter called Chapter 3, but it's actually like the 37th chapter of the book. It is a huge, huge mistake on Square's part to make the game this focused on a lot of the other shit. And it doesn't help that the gameplay lacks focus. A lot of the mini-game-centric stuff feels like it's padding for the game, and they just flat out waste a couple of worlds that could have had a lot of good stuff in it. I wanted to like this game. I was very excited for it. One of the big parts of my Kingdom Hearts playthrough was hype for Kingdom Hearts 3 by talking to my friends that love Kingdom Hearts about Kingdom Hearts. And God, this game was just not good. And I know that I even have some subscribers that love this game, and I'm sorry, but I do not like this game at all.
Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
There's this inside joke between Tyler, Evan, and I that I despise Pokemon Black and White. But I'm gonna be real. I understand that my experience with Pokemon Black and White was a 1 in a million experience that should not actually reflect how the game really is. And someday, I'll actually replay Pokemon Black and White to give it its full due. But I have never been so unenthusiastic about a Pokemon game as I was playing Sun and Moon. Like, the game just was not fun to play to me. I hated a lot of the mechanics they took away from the mainline series. I hated how much the game held your hand. You know, I like a lot of some of the stuff they added, like the Alolan Pokemon. Thought that was really neat. Thought it was a good way for them to make old Pokemon new again. I don't mind the story. Like, I don't mind the gym aspect of the game. I thought that was interesting. But I was just not compelled to play this game to its completion for the first time in any of the times I've played Pokemon. I got pretty deep into the story, and it was just not fun at all. And that's upsetting because I would have hoped they would have utilized their setting a little better. One of the most excited moments I had this decade was when Shigeru Miyamoto was teasing that he was making a new Star Fox game. And as a huge fan of Star Fox, I was excited to see what new and exciting direction they would take the series. I was thinking of where could it go? What new things could they add? What could they do to the game? And it's just Star Fox again. It's just Star Fox 64 again, but with shitty controls and shitty add-ons. This game fucking sucks. I want to know why. I want to know why they thought it was a good idea to do this to Star Fox. They could have done anything else. Anything else. And it would have been fun. But the Star Fox Zero isn't fun, man. It's not good. And it's upsetting.
The game looks great, don't get me wrong, and it looks like it's a decent enough game from the video I'm showing, but the controls make it so not playable, like to an obnoxious degree.
Instead, they made this and packaged it with the tower defense game. I fucking wish that this game was good, because I was so excited, and I'm so upset that it's not good. Like, it's also probably why the Wii U died.
And that was my list. What did you think about it? Were you upset by some inclusions I made here? Let's talk about that in the comments down below. Are you excited for this week of wrap-ups? Are you excited that I'm stretching it across 3 months? Let me know. But either way, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you so very much for watching. If you did like this list, be sure to give it a like. If you want to see more of my music, gaming, and general nerdery content, be sure to subscribe. Special thanks to my patrons if you would like to join their ranks. Linked in the description is my Patreon. I have been Viral Rack. You guys have videos, lives, and situations, and I'll see you another day.